They'll be calling you a radical. And today, I'm going to gather some resources for this church here while I talk about whatever I want, unedited, no filters, no edits. And first thing, I'm going to grab a pickaxe, shovel, gonna need dirt, wood, lots of stone. I should make a furnace. Okay. Here's the deal, guys. Another day, another dollar, more views, more problems. No, just kidding. Oh, I thought that was a spider there, but no, it's peaceful here, okay? So yeah, I think this is how we're gonna do it, okay? Like I said in my last video, I'm not of the left or the right politically. So I could criticize both sides. I think what's going on here, okay, after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, I am alarmed by the response, the reaction of not just everyday people. I need a good spot to mine some cobblestone here. Not just everyday people, it's like teachers or people in the media, you know, people like who are supposed to be so-called journalists. I've seen people in like the gaming industry get fired. A lot of people are getting fired, losing their jobs, getting called out, and I kinda have to support it. I don't really want people like that teaching kids. If you got that much hate, if you're that kind of delusional, and that's kind of what it is, it's a delusion, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about here. Look at that shot. Is when you live in a world, when you throw on the news or you scroll your Facebook news and they're just tossing around words like Hitler and they're calling people Nazis. You know, you guys know what we do with Nazis, right? We punch them. You know what you can do to baby Hitler if we ever get like a time machine, right? You know, so we're talking about like those kinds of things when you talk about the Nazis and the atrocities that they committed. And when you just like compare modern day people who are talking politics, you just willy-nilly want to call them racist, transphobic, homophobic, they're Nazis, they're Hitler and everything. At a certain point there comes responsibility if actions happen. Because one week you're saying, hey, this guy's Hitler, and the next week you're saying, you know, who's gonna do it? You know, who's gonna do it? Things like that, right? This guy's coming for your democracy. You know, your way of life, taking food off the table. You know, everything's life and death with these people. They're just like, they fire everyone up, and then you want to pretend like you're not responsible when people get fired up, right? So yeah, the point is, like, you call someone Hitler enough, eventually, in this crazy ass world we got going on here, 2025, where, man, everyone in America, everyone and their mom got an AK-47, it seems like, you know. Eventually there's going to be some insane violence, and if you want to live in a society where, you know, you're not in fear of your life all the time, then we need people in positions of power to like be, you know, adults. It's almost like they have to start being, I don't know, responsible. It's like they have to start being mature. They have to start being journalists, adults, you know? A little more biased. And I don't see the damage is done. I almost feel like the responsibility, you sort of have to take the responsibility. You can't delete the tweets. You can't unsay the words, you know? And another thing that really disturbs me is how, because I can go off on both sides, it's how every little piece of information that comes out about this shooter, it's disgusting how each side kind of tries to use it to push their own agenda. Just like minute by minute, day by day, it's just like, you know, the responsible thing, you guys probably know, is to just chill. Like I said in the last video, you call out the political violence for what it is. We can't, there's no room for it. And if, yeah, and that's about it. And then, so this transitions into why I think everyone, why so many people, and I'm kind of appalled at how many people it is. I'm a little shocked here, boys and girls, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm shocked here, boys, about how many people have the cojones to publicly be like, you know what, Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, so I'm glad. You know, it's okay, guys, to not sympathize with a Nazi, right? And I'm just like, wow, this is nuts. So anyway, I think what's going on here is we got a low IQ culture, alright? And the media and everything's been taking advantage of these people, clearly. And what happens is, in my opinion, when you have a guy like Charlie Kirk who wants to stand for certain things, you know, he wants to stand for some principles, so he's a religious man, and he's just like, yeah, he's completely against abortion, right? So just hard stance. Just wants to make it illegal or something, you know? Not my stance. I'm not left, I'm not right. Gonna leave it there, but I don't want the government intervening as much as, say, the average person. Let's put it that way. They shouldn't really have a say. At the same time, I don't really think it's cool, kind of the way society's pushing polygamy or hookup culture, or, you know... I don't know, all this is crazy, all this is connected. I keep like, I kept losing my train of thought there. Why did I bring up polygamy? And, whoops. Listen guys, there's a lot going on. I'm trying to cut this tree down, okay? It's warm in here, I'm thinking about Lucy, and... Listen guys, I promise, there's no problem. I'm just like, you know... Sometimes I get in my head, I just need a second, you know what I'm saying? But listen... I know I was talking about the media and everything. This is some okay. Let me get this back on the rails here. Okay, Charlie Kirk. I was trying to take some tangents here. Let me just try to give you the meat and potatoes here. Okay. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. Trying to be a principled man in a chaotic world. Okay, he's like a Christian man. So yeah, instead of the modern culture pushing polygamy, hookup culture, pornography, sex work. He's trying to be like, you know what, abortions aren't that cool. You know, my kind of stance is like, yeah, people shouldn't be proud of having like a dozen abortions. Like, it's not cool, you know? It's like, we can find some other forms of birth control here, people. But, so yeah, Charlie Kirk's trying to take some stances, you know? So people obviously are pushing him into corners. And then where you ultimately land... I need a crafting table. When you start saying things like, yo, there should never be abortions, people are like, well, what if a woman gets raped? And, you know, she gets pregnant off of that rape. And it's like, doesn't happen a lot, but they're backing this guy into a corner, and eventually it turns into Charlie Kirk having to say, apparently, you know, even if his daughter got raped, she'd have to take care of the baby. He's that against abortion. He doesn't want to kill any babies at any point after conception. Or I'm not exactly sure exactly where he stands on the pro-life, but You guys understand what I'm saying? So they back him into that corner, right? But he says that knowing that statistically that's not gonna happen. Okay? And he's trying to like show like he's that principled. You understand? He doesn't want to kill babies that much. You understand? And he also wants to do everything he can to protect his daughters at the same time, right? But I don't know, the media's just got... This is where the IQ thing kind of comes in. Because they toss around the social subjects, like fertility rights would be one, and it's like, you know, they're going to get everyone's panties in a bunch, like we're trying to take the ladies' rights or whatever, right? And it's like... Yeah, to be clear, I'm not for government intervention in your bedroom or in the doctor's office either. So I don't want any of that going on, to be clear. But this is how principled that man was. And then obviously they just take it to the most low IQ, low hanging fruit. Well, what if your daughter gets raped and he's forced to say this crazy thing? And then that's the only thing people run with. Okay? But anyway, like I said, he's just trying to... And like I said, my stance is different on that. But the other thing that people are running with is the gun thing. It's kind of the same thing. He's saying, like, you know what? I guess in America they got that Second Amendment going on. They got the bearing arms. And he's like, I want a gun in my house in case, you know, someone comes into my house. I want to be able to protect my daughter from intruders, right? And he's saying, unfortunately... If I live in that society where we can bear some arms to protect our families from criminals who don't follow laws, then unfortunately there will be some gun deaths a year. You cannot, you know, get that to zero, is basically what he was saying. And then so now I just have, you know, and I got off the phone, guys. I can't really stomach it. I can't stomach it. So, but you open up your phone and you're actually hearing people say, like, you know, this guy said that there had to be some gun deaths a year, and they're like kind of grinning that he's a gun death, and I'm just like, what planet am I on here? You know, I can't believe it. And again, it's the most low IQ thing, because he's saying he doesn't want to flood his country with criminals. He wants everyone to be like a law-abiding citizen, but he's saying there's just going to be accidents if everyone has a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone might grab it, someone might discharge it, someone might accidentally kill themselves. Things happen. He's not saying he doesn't want to get gun violence low, but anyway, people just latch onto this one thing he said. You know? Like another thing he said about, you know, DEI. And he's dealing with, like, college students. And another thing, guys, if you don't understand, and this is, you know, the low IQ, is like, you're an online personality. You can't be boring. You're trying to be engaging. You're trying to be interesting. So you're going to say some things that are provocative, especially when you're dealing with, like, you know, dumbass college people who are brainwashed by this Marxist ideology, I guess, is the shortest way I can say it. But anyway. So Kirk's taking a hard stance on DEI. He's like, yeah, you know what? It's kind of racist. It's a racist policy. Okay, so let's not do it. And let's just have the best qualified do the job. So he's saying, if I get on a plane and he's saying the pilot is black, then he's saying, like, you know, he's nervous because he knows they pass laws. DEI laws, where it's like, we need to hit quotas. It ain't about qualification. You're making this about skin color and gender, and I'm 30,000 feet in the air. So it's all common sense, logical things. Not all arguments that I agree with, but perfectly fine arguments I think that you can make in the political space. Except if you live in a political climate where the media is just like insane, irresponsible, reporting things before it's fact, twisting facts, omitting facts, lying by omission, right? Reporting things they know everyone's going to hear and run with, and then they know it might be a mistake and they'll do a retraction, but no one will see that. It's a dirty game going on, and I understand that most people aren't even into politics. They're not on the left, they're not on the right, they're just trying to, like, feed their family, they're just trying to live their life, you know, and I understand. But these people take advantage of that because, yeah, the left is like normal life. It's like Netflix. It's like Google. You know, like like even if you don't watch the news, it doesn't matter. It's like you get it, well, the men are pussy whipped, they get it from the wives, right? But the wives will get it from the phone. You know what I mean? They're getting their nails done, and the ladies tell them, like, did you hear about the nasty that got, or whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Like, I'm kind of being a little hyperbolic, but, you know, how the ladies are like, Trudeau comes in with his sexy hair, right? And his sexy little suits, and then, like, Trudeau is daddy. And all the wives listen to Trudeau, and Trudeau's like, yo, tell the husbands that they can go to work today, but they need to wear a mask unless they're on lunch or break. And then the husbands are just like, all right, honey. You know, and then Trudeau's like, you know, flicks around his sexy little hair, and he's like, hey, ladies, tell the husbands that they can only hang out with people today in a room full of... 7 people. And all the ladies are like, okay, and then they tell the husbands, who are all whipped, and you know, listen, you guys know what I'm saying. But anyway, let's get back to what I was saying before. Let's get back to what I was saying. So Charlie Kirk says, I don't like these DEI racist policies, so yeah, I'm gonna be nervous when I see a pilot on, you know, I just want, or a black pilot step on the plane. I just want the best qualifications. Now he's assuming, because it's like, you know, there could be a black pilot who's just human with black skin, and that's another thing I'm going to get to after this bullshit, alright? But there could be an African-American pilot, a black pilot, however you want to say it, a human with darker skin, okay? Who, guess what? He paid his dues just like the white boy or whatever, and, you know, he got all the education, he did all the training, he's just as good as him. But now, everyone's all kind of looking through the lens of, like, you know, well, how did he get that job? And then I feel sorry for him, who's even got to, like, maybe even look around at people who are looking at him, you know? Like, it's when they make, and this is my point, when you make everything about race and gender and everything all the time, identity politics, this is kind of what you get. And it's disgusting, and I just think it's gone too far. And I think the adults are going to be standing up. And I think that people who want to just scroll TikTok, believe the media, not understand they're lying, they can't read the room, the self-awareness is obviously not there. The situation awareness ain't there, obviously. Like, I don't need, you know, yeah, it's gonna start being called out, is my point. I'm not sure how exactly. I know right now, obviously, people are being called out for posting publicly that, like, Kirk's a Nazi. It's okay to not empathize with them. No, you're a monster, and now you're exposed. And now we can all see who you are for what you really are. Alright, your true colors. And I am quite frankly disappointed, okay? I'm not even mad, actually. Well, I am kind of mad. I am really mad that poor Charlie Kirk had to suffer that fate. He had to take that bullet, and I feel so bad for his family. I haven't even listened to his widow make a speech. I heard that it was great and is exactly what you want, where everyone's going to be pushing his message. It ain't going away just because some crazy person took a gun and, you know, listened to the media as far as I'm concerned. So no one can forget that, who was paying attention. So even people who weren't paying attention, people understand what's going on, I think. Cue the music. I'm fired up tonight, guys. Like, I can tell. I can feel it. I'm pissed off. And to even open up my smartphone and one time have somebody make a joke about Kirk dying and thinking it's okay because what? Someone on CNN sometimes said that he's a Nazi. I mean, wow, you know, where are the parents at? Where are the adults at? What is higher education doing? You know, like I said, something like this happens and it's like, what's going on? What's going on? Or whatever that song is. Like, what's going on? It's like, man, it's like Tupac said, I see no changes. There ain't no changes. Oh, and that reminds me, alright? Thanks, Tupac. You reminded me that that's what I want to talk about. I'm sick of all this race talking. It's non-stop, 24/7 for years. Like, give it a rest. You gotta go with my boy, my main man. Morgan Freeman. You guys know that guy? Just narrates every documentary you've ever seen in your life. And what's Morgan Freeman saying? I don't want Black History Month. I'll wet my ass with Black History Month. You don't want it. So that's because he's a smart man. He says, the way you get rid of racism is you stop calling me black, I stop calling you white. Because guess what? I think deep down we all understand, man. This is silly. And when you have darker skin, the ancestors came from a spot on the planet where, you know, there's a lot of sun, man. And you can't be handling all the UVs. There's too many UVs. So it's got to adjust here and, you know, do what it's got to do. I can't explain it scientifically. You guys understand what I'm getting at here. And when you're all pasty white, pasty ass white, you know, think about those guys in England, you know, before the open borders. Think about how pasty white England was before the open borders, right? Just fish and chips and pasty white guys everywhere. As the moon orbits. What was I talking about? Pasty ass white guys? Yeah, pasty guys in England. Their skin color is white because what? The sun comes out for half an hour a year. So when it does, they really got to try to soak up the UVs. And if they don't take their vitamin D, they get grumpy. So that's what we gotta do, guys. We always gotta take a breath, take some vitamin D. It turns into hormones, and hormones are very important, okay? That's what I actually think is going on here, is all these people with crazy ass hair, they just got a hormone imbalance. No, I'm just kidding. I just think people are lost, and they're latching on to something because, maybe they don't got God in their life. You understand? We're making some connections here. It's like, why are we lost? The jobs don't mean anything. They're kind of worthless. You know, I know this guy who's like an operator at like a power plant around here, and he's like, yeah, I'm not happy when I'm operating this lame-ass power plant. I'm like, no? Really? All this money, all this vacation a year, all this big status? You're the big man on campus? And he's like, yeah, I'm not happy. He's like, I'm more happy when I'm plowing the fields. I'm like, plowing the fields? It's like, yeah, I bought a little farm on the outskirts of here and there. Been growing this and that. And he's like, man, it's the best feeling when you grow it and you wait it out and you're watching the weather and you're doing this, you're doing that. And then he's like, you're harvesting it? It's like, wow, it's the best feeling, man. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of the fulfilling thing, isn't it? So yeah, all the jobs kind of suck and don't mean anything. So they don't mean any, you know, you're not fulfilled and there's no God in your life. And maybe you don't got the best situation around you, and you know, you just feel lonely or something, and who knows? And it's like, what do you turn to? I don't know, but some people who are wild and crazy and they get political, get a little radicalized, maybe get suicidal. Some of these guys get homicidal. Get inspired by who knows, Columbine, all this crazy stuff going on here. Got the internet 24/7. There's all this crazy stuff going on here. Did you guys see the Minnesota shooter? There's all this crazy stuff going on here. You can't trust these guys. You can't trust all these people. with guns? Because we gotta tone her down here. And if you don't want to, then it's not gonna go good. So it's up to everybody, you know? It's like, that pickaxe is gone. Inventory, pretty full. I'm rambling. 23 minutes in, like, holy. Where is my crafting table? I think I made all the points I want to make. The media is crazy. The people who, like, believe it are crazy. The people who talk gender all day are, like, crazy. And when I say crazy, that's another thing, guys. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. He was polite about it. You know what I mean? He was really polite about it. Hold on, I just thought there was a creeper coming out of the woods there. Alright, I wasn't going to be too polite to that creeper. I would have taken this sword right here. Anyway, non-violence, guys. The non-aggression principle. But listen, that's another thing. You want to call everyone wants... Not everyone. Crazy-ass liberals. Listen, let me try to be polite. These wild people, okay? And I hope they lose their jobs. And I hope now they know to stay quiet, too. You know, you will be called out. You will be shamed. And this ain't no, like, oh, we're calling out. This ain't no kind of weak. And I'm not of the right wing, but this ain't no, like, left wing censorship. Like, we're canceling your Twitter account because you said tranny or something. You know, we're the word police, and we're policing the feelings. It's like, no, this is like, you're kind of a monster. You're kind of showing how you're morally bankrupt, or you're like really flippant and aloof, or you don't care. Either way, like, we're not gonna diagnose you. We don't want to, you know what I mean? You need some help, basically, is what's going on here. And I don't trust you to, like, pass me safely. You know what I mean? I don't trust you to not drive without looking at your phone. You understand? Like, you're that lost. Like, you're that, you know, like, I'm shocked about how many people are like that gone. You know, you kind of think, I don't know, I'm surprised this shit functions the way it does, to be perfectly blunt about it. You know, it's crazy. I know I'm rambling. I think I got all the points I wanted to get done here. Actually, I got one more. But yeah, I hit it all, didn't I? The low IQ libtards, alright? The stupid low IQ rape, low hanging fruit argument that everyone goes to when you try to argue, like, I'm not down with abortions or whatever. You know, the gun thing, the DEI thing. So he's racist. He hates black people because he said that provocative thing about the DEI thing, you know? Morgan Freeman, bring us together. We need to talk about, or we never should label each other by race. You know, and it'll go away eventually, you know? The government loves the ghettos. They love that, like, so many people love rap music and, like, buy guns and, like, deal dope, and they love that the fathers get killed and they're not around and that they're in jail. There's a reason why in America the jails are privatized. You know, they don't want to legalize weed because you make a lot of money in jail, so you keep drugs illegal, and you want a bunch of black men to deal drugs and get caught by the police and be in a constant cycle. You understand? And we're all just playing right into it. We're all just playing right into it, and you can't tell me, you can't tell me nothing. I see it with my own eyes. Everyone's kind of lying, everyone's kind of fronting, everyone's kind of posing. But you can't unsee it once you see it. And like I said last video, I'm sorry guys, I'm fired up tonight, but oh, I gotta make a chest here, but I'm digging out this island here, and I'm gonna build a church for Kirk. Alright, because you guys are crazy. I mean, Markcraft 86, Uncle Mark 86, could not be more disappointed. You understand me? Pathetic. You guys call this a culture? You guys call this a family? You guys call this community? You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And that's another thing I want to talk about before I get out of here, because I don't want to ramble on all night here. And everyone knows this, but no one does anything about it. That's the thing, everyone knows it and whatever, but no one will do anything about it, okay? The education system is completely whack. It sucks. We all know this. So what are we even raising? You know what I mean? We're all okay with, like, we're just gonna work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. That's not enough. You gotta play the stock market. That's not enough. You gotta, I don't know, start a YouTube channel, get an OnlyFans going. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous what you gotta do just to make ends meet. And, what was I talking about? I don't know, but I was talking about the education system, and, I'm fired up, guys. But anyway, you take a kid, okay? And you throw him into a classroom. And you have one teacher, one adult in there. I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? I know, I'll tell you what's gonna happen. You guys experienced it, okay? You just learn how to be a kid. It's all about just hanging out with your friends. You can barely pay attention to the teacher. I barely went to class by the time grade 11 rolled around. I was like, this is lame. I'm just gonna get 50%. You know, skip grade 10 science a couple too many times. Had to redo that one. But yeah, so like the like the education system is like so trash, but we're like, hey, good job of like graduating high school. It's like, I just understand that no one knows what's going on. I can just tell it by the way we're acting here, you know? Most of like communication is non-verbal, guys, so it's like the jig is up, the country's broken. Anyone who's like half an adult knows that the time of putting up with it is kind of done. You know what I mean? I can kind of see that turning. That's kind of the breaking point where it's like, no, you don't get to say the most, you know, low IQ, dumbest things, propagandist, brainwash, sheep. I'm trying not to swear too much. Sheep ideology, you little babas, right? Just do whatever the government tells you. Just do whatever Daddy Trudeau tells you. Do whatever Daddy Biden tells you. You know. Anyway, guys, I gotta end this. I'm a bit too fired up for this. All right, but this is kind of what I'm saying, and this is kind of why I'm recording the video, is because I'm like appalled by all this. Truly appalled by all this. So this is the last thing I'm gonna say, because I think I hit it all. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I hit that. I'm not down with abortion. Don't really agree with Charlie Kirk's full set of shit on that. I'm not even a gun guy. I don't want everyone and their moms to have an AK-47, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really like that. Could you know, I live in Canada. There's a few spots in Canada where I guess you're kind of like, well, they might have guns, but like, it's not Texas. Could you imagine? The vibes are just different, man. Like, if someone cuts you off in Texas, I wouldn't see myself, you know, getting out of my vehicle and being like, hey, what was that, man? You know, it's like, ugh. So, what am I saying? I'm saying I'm not the biggest gun guy, but there's a reason why citizenry should have guns, you understand? Because, especially if the people who are in charge aren't really doing a good job of keeping the criminals in jail, you understand? Just letting them out on purpose. That's kind of nuts. So, we're gonna cook up this iron. Eat a little apple. No, there's actually no health depletion on here. I gathered... I think we did alright. 32 minutes. Oh yeah, I need to make some stone. That's another thing. Alright, I'm just gonna take a second here to chill out. Okay, play a little Minecraft. I need another furnace here. You guys understand what I'm saying. This for me is all an experiment. It's all new. We're all seeing what's happened, and I'm actually kind of down that I fired this up, and I got a little fired up in this microphone, knowing that I'm being recorded, getting a little more used to the camera or the microphone and all this, recording myself. And screw it, guys, we're letting it fly. We're letting it fly. And all we're doing is... Actually, we'll go with this. Getting on the record. It's not like I think this message is going to hit anywhere. It's not like I think this is going viral. It's not like I think I'm getting paid on YouTube. Quite honestly, like I said last video, I'm checked out, guys. I'm just going to try to enjoy my life. I'm kind of done with the Monopoly game. I'm not trying to get the Park Place. I'm just trying to not go to jail, okay? And get my $200. You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna stack up videos on this YouTube channel because it's kind of therapeutic and I like it. My other series, Vanilla Minecraft and Chill, completely different than this. I'll be playing Minecraft, but we'll be chilling. No heavy topics, no politics, no God, no crazy libtards. None of it. But while I'm here playing Minecraft, chilling out, getting on the record, it's like I felt like I was getting a little worked up and I'm jumping from topic to topic there. And cause I'm guys, I'm not scared to admit, alright? I'm a little shook. You know what I mean? You know how it's hard for a man to admit they're shook, you know? J to the ROC. Rock power, hardest, you know? I'll admit, guys, I'm shook. To open up your phone and see like an assassination like that, it's like... A political assassination like that on just a random day, you're just trying to, you know, it's just like... And just like that, there's a widow, and just like that, his kids are gonna have to grow up without Charlie. You know, and just like that, you flip your phone open, and it's like, you guys are still playing the culture war game. This guy's a Nazi. Good that he died. Who's next? Donald Trump is next. You're still playing that weird ass game. It's like, I kind of thought you guys knew it was a game. So then it's kind of like, it's kind of cute when you're talking about just pronouns and you're yelling at people and you're yelling at me because like I don't want some book about giving blowjobs in a school with children, or I don't want some guy with some perversions, fantasies, you know what I mean, tucking his dick into his panties, cue the music, and he's gonna go read some stories to children. Like, guys, you can't make it make sense. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, we're not gonna make our whole culture about this. You know, it's like, it's like they did it. A lot of people fell for it. But it's like, you're still doing it? It's like, okay. Well, at some point in time, the adults have to say, like, enough, because, yeah, we can't live like this. It's kind of like crazy-ass neighbors that... It's like, yo, we tried banging on the door. We tried talking to the landlord. I tried catching you when you're bringing your groceries in. Be like, yo, you want to turn the music down? You want to stop doing this crazy stuff, this and that? Except it's not music down. It's, like, way more crazy shit. It's like someone loses their life... And you guys, like, troll it like life's a game or something. This ain't no game. And Charlie Kirk was polite about it, so now the voices coming out are going to be like less polite about it. We don't want Islam invading all of our countries here when we had a good thing going. We were secular. People weren't even religious. Just because you have like more babies than the people here doesn't mean you get to take over what we have going here. I don't care that the white Europeans took it from the Indians, you know? Since the early 2000s, I've been going off about how bullshit the Canadian government treats the Native Americans, okay? This ain't news to me. This is news to you guys. Or it seems like it's, you know, it's just a couple years ago everyone found out how this country got founded. It's like, well, if everyone can catch up here, because it's like, there's some dangerous ass things going on here. So that's what it is. That's what it is. It's mommy and daddy, the smart men and the smart women who know what's going on are now gonna have to stand up and be like, no, enough is enough. You don't get to joke around about people losing their lives. You don't get to joke around about this and that. You don't get to scream about trans rights till you're blue in the face. And gender affirming care is whack. And there's a lot of people who are gonna, I'm getting fired up again. There's a lot of people who are gonna be coming out who like regret doing it. It's obvious. Right? Like, we're not gonna make our whole culture about we're not gonna champion mental illness or whatever. It's like, I just feel like I'm living in kindergarten here as the moon rises in the background and the oak tree sprouts out. But we're living in kindergarten, or we're in kindergarten fantasy land, and everyone's got like an AK-47, so yeah, man. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't think I'm being too mean, but yeah, the people coming up here are not going to be as polite about it, you know what I mean? So, you kind of killed one of the nicer people about it. You know, he had some fiery political language, okay? I'm not going to deny that. But you got some other people who are coming up now who are just telling the truth. That's all it is. There's a couple people telling the truth. You gotta figure out who it is. RonPaul.com. Dr. Ron Paul. But yeah, there's some people telling the truth out there. Everyone else, bunch of grifters, bunch of posers, bunch of people getting paid, bunch of people, pardon my French, sucking the way to the top. I'm looking at you, Kamala Harris. You know, it's just like a bunch of, it's a clown show, circus show out there. Everyone's just trying to get their own. Because you think there's a lot of money out there, guys. There's not. There is a lot, but I'm saying what they have circulating for us is kind of scraps, okay? So yeah, everyone's fighting for it. I understand. We're trying to survive. Me too. So that's about my thoughts on that. I've had it up to here. We're gonna see what happens from here. My prediction is, unfortunately, maybe people are chilling out. I don't know. I gotta get off my phone, guys. But I think the damage is done. I think people are delusional. I think we've watched too many movies. They've seen John Wick explode. Too many skulls. Like, we're dealing with that level of dumb here. Desensitized to shit. No morals, like. And that's what I mean. People are so dumb, I think we have to, like, hold people's hands and be like, we have to get back to God. Like, thou shalt not kill. You know, it's like, that's where we are. We're... Guys. To come full circle, we're where we should have been all along, okay? Which was working the basics. Working the fundamentals. Which I'll expand on real quick before I end this video. We need to, like, grow our own food, get our own land, you know what I'm saying? The food, like, guys, I haven't even touched on the food. It's poison. You know what I mean? Like the food's a little poison. Like when you want to go on a like a diet, you want to like lose weight, you want to like put on muscle, you want to like lean out. You want to eat clean, you want to feel good, you want to feel your body good, and you like do all your research and you're checking all your YouTube videos and you're looking at Jillian Michaels who's telling you to get going or whatever. What did I tell you? You can't go to all the shit you like. All the good food, you can't eat it because it's all poison, it's all fake. It's like, oh yeah, the first thing I tell you is you can't go to McDonald's. You can't have any fast food. When you go to the grocery store, it's like you have to avoid a good 80% of the store, 70% of the store. You know what I mean? All the stuff that's on the shelves, it's like, it's for themselves, it needs to stay on the shelves unless you want to put it in your guts, and then it ain't going good, alright? So they'll fatten you up and then get rich off the Ozempic, guys. It's like, you know what I mean? Anyway, we hit it. Education, food, no books, the TV, too much John Wick, drooling, everything's a big reality show joke. Everyone wants to say shit, no one wants to take accountability. I'm not going to get into it, but listen, the men and the women, we need to come together, and that's kind of why I don't want to get into the sort of the divisive, even though it's funny and, you know, maybe of my nature because it's funny, and I don't mean anything by it, but listen guys, I'm kind of trying to be a little responsible as I speak into this microphone here. Not sure who's listening, it could be children, who knows, okay? If you're 44 minutes into this video still listening to me, then I feel like I can let it fly, but you know, but the men and the women need to come together. We're all human, we need to stop talking about skin color, okay? It's like, I understand most Muslims are moderate Muslims, just good people who want to raise their family and prosper just like everybody else. I'm not impressed. I'm not gonna get, I haven't read the Quran, guys, but I'm not that impressed with Islam. I'm not real impressed with how they sell it. I'm not really impressed with sort of how they act in the Muslim countries. I don't really want it here. You can kind of see it's like more of a takeover type thing. And it's not like they're all like that. It's just they all, some of them are like, yo, we're gonna outbreed you. It's just how it is. You know, it's not like they all say that. It's not like they all want that. It's just some of them just want a normal life, man. We're all human. We're all the same thing. It's just when you have a planet, and like I said in the last videos, they should have brought all the first world or the third world countries up, but they don't want to. But when you have a planet where you have like a couple countries that's kind of doing it right, where you got like freedom, you got freedom of speech. You know, you got like, you're not even doing it right. It's not like we have free education. The healthcare is kind of whack. When I say doing it right, don't get it twisted here, folks. I mean doing it better than like you're living in, you know what I mean? Imagine living in Afghanistan or something. Imagine being born in Syria or something. And now you got people in the news telling you, oh yeah, Al-Qaeda can take control, the ex-leader of Al-Qaeda could take control of Syria, no problem, man. He's changed. And you just gotta trust that the guy who was chopping people's head off, you know what I mean? That he's changed. And it's like, dude, I don't buy it. I was born a day, but not today, you know what I'm saying? I was born at night, but fuck off, you know what I mean? I'm just sick of this. So I'm gonna build a little land bridge. I'm gonna build a land bridge here, guys, alright? And then I'm gonna end this video. Maybe build this church for Kirk offline and then make a video when I show it to you, but I think that's why I'm kind of hanging on to this video right now, because I think I'm pretty done with this topic. I'm pretty sick to my stomach about it. I think I've said all I wanted to say about it. People are not that bright. They need to be called out. They shouldn't feel like they can just flippantly share their bullshit views, okay? And when I say bullshit views, because I'm a freedom of speech guy. You can say whatever you want. That's what I was... let me be clear. Let me be real clear, crystal clear, because I'm gonna be going back to the chill channel, so I'm not even gonna be able to talk about any of this. Sometimes it's good to put a little restriction on yourself. Okay, what was I making here? I need a shovel. Sorry guys, multitasking here. Minecraft, talking, thinking, same time, breathing. I mean, holy. Sick of this. Sick of Team USA being represented by a bunch of whining babies. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sick of I'm sick of everyone knowing the news is fake, but like when I talk to you, you're like repeating the news to me. Get out of me. Get out of my face, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of when I say like the banks are screwing us over, the central banking systems, this and that, and everyone's like, yeah, 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 but it's like, alright, well if everyone knows about it, and the banks are messing us up, and the education system is screwed, and the curriculum is, like, what did you come out of high school? You came out worth minimum wage. You didn't come out worth shit, unless you had a cool dad who like taught you how to fix some shit, and you might have had some like skills. You know, I'm thinking about the farmers. You know, I kind of grew up in the country, and you kind of go to school with a lot of these farmers, man. They like taking their prom dates in the tractor. You know, those kind of guys. They come out as maybe worth a little bit more money, but otherwise we're just coming out of high school, Mountain Dew drinking, pot smoking, booze sipping hooligans who don't know shit about fuck, but we think we know everything. And that's kind of the thing that bothers me as well. It's like we all kind of act like we know everything about everything, but like we don't really know shit. So now it's just time for the adults who know what's going on here to figure out what to do with all this crazy shit. And that's like that's not gonna happen. But what I'm saying is, it's time for the adults who understand what's going on. And if you understand what's going on, you are like really pissed, man. You're worried about the safety of your family. You are really pissed about all these freedoms that have been taken from you since 9/11. I mean, it is like, I can go on all fucking day. But all these people who are like, you know, this is like a turning point. This is like that's just kind of the best way to say it, right? That pun, that this is like a turning point. It is like when 9/11 happened and there's a bunch of people who didn't care about politics and they started paying attention. You know, just like COVID was. No one cared about politics, and then when they started telling you if you could go to your grandpa's funeral, start paying attention a little bit. How many people can I hang out with, and what's your credibility? And this is the last thing I'm going to say, because we're at 50 minutes and this cuts off at 59. So this is the last thing I'm going to say. Maybe. There's a journalist, a real journalist, who's trying to get the real estate information of all the politicians in Canada. And I think what you're going to find is like, yeah, the people who are supposed to like not let a housing crisis happen, the same people who are supposed to like fix it when it does happen, have no incentive to, because they're just like profiting off it like crazy, probably with 2-3 properties each. You understand me? So it's like, yeah, we're being played. We're being played. And when you want to be cute and you want to tell me to wear a mask, I'll do it, because I don't want you to feel unsafe. I'm not getting vaccinated for shit. I mean, I had my vaccinations when I was a kid, but the MNRA can, you know, get out of your... And when you want to start policing my language, that just makes me want to say all the words I'm not supposed to say even more. So guess what? The more you want to police people's language, and they can't say this, and they can't say that, all you're going to do is breed more and more people that are now going to get online and say them, because no one gives a shit anymore. You know what I mean? And that's my perspective. Like, when I say no one gives a shit anymore, I understand I'm not speaking for everyone on the planet. What I mean is, playtime is over. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, have I told you I'm not of the left or the right? Yeah, I have told you that. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, when violent, horrific actions like that happen, and then like someone live in the crowd turns to a camera, or I don't know if they knew the camera was there, but they start like celebrating and put their arms up in the air and they come up with some bullshit excuse or whatever. I don't really know, but they're and then you flip the phone on, you flip the phone over, right? And people are like, yeah, that's okay because he was a Nazi and all this shit. When you got this kind of language and this kind of temperature and everything, it's like, at some point, you kind of awaken the beast. And I feel like there is sort of like a silent majority who never really signed on to a lot of this shit. And they're just kind of, they just want to work. They want their jobs to mean shit. They want the currency to mean shit. They want to provide for their family. They want to fall in love, probably have babies, and just live happily ever after. You know what I mean? That's what everyone wants. And I forgot what I was going to say. Alright guys, don't do drugs. Listen. I think I remember what I was kind of saying. The media is crazy. They need to tone it down. The adults have to say, shut up. And if the government ain't going to do it, if the courts ain't going to do it, if the police ain't going to do it, you understand? At like a certain point in time, something has to be done. And I'm not saying violence. I'm against violence. What I'm saying is you get online. You start denouncing this shit. You open up a book. You start educating yourself. You know, just they want you ignoring your kids. They want you fat. So you don't ignore your kids and you get athletic. You know what I mean? It's kind of that simple. It's not doomsday. It's kind of like they want you busy, stressed, and like throwing the iPad in front of your kids so you can do your own thing. Don't do that. Then you're like winning. You know what I mean? You go and get your food at like from the farmer's market, so it's from the Mennonites who like don't spray the shit. You know what I mean? You're winning. You know, you can't afford to put your kids into like a private school because, like, you know, not everyone can. But you do what you can. You can do, you know, your kid comes home and you unschool them. What did you read today? Let me see what you read today. What was your teacher up to today? What was she saying? What was he saying? You know what I mean? And then, oh yeah, then you unschool them. Or if you can't homeschool, no one's got time for that. I love people who can homeschool, but you can't. You go to ronpaul.com. It's got a homeschool for you, okay? So anyway, guys, we got to come together. We got to educate our kids. We got to get back to God. We got to grow our own food. We got to find people, like-minded people that we connect with, to spend our time with, to forget about this crazy shit. And, other than that, I'm Markcraft86, aka Champagne Marky, and I'm signing off for another one. I think the next time you see this right here, it's going to be a big, beautiful church for Kirk. And we'll see where we go from here. I think I'll start a hardcore series. Thinking about starting a series called Actually AI Sucks, where I whoop AI's ass. Alright, playing checkers, hockey, basketball, whatever game, Connect 4, maybe eventually work up to chess, and I show everybody the AI ain't even that smart, alright? And we should probably call it AD. Artificial Dumbass. So keep on the watch for that. A new series called Actually AI Sucks, alright? Other than that, guys, stay safe. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, ronpaul.com. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.